eBay Motors. How does it work to sell your vehicle on eBay? Well, I can help you with that. Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm with Paladin Global Market. I've been an online reseller for over 16 years. I'm the author of the ebook, eBay Consignment the Easy Way, and the online course creator of starting your own successful eBay business. I say all that to let you know that I can definitely help you through this process because trust me, there are some things that you need to do differently when you're reselling on eBay Motors versus the eBay platform with your normal items that you resell. But it has always been my most profitable sales through my eBay business. I sell things for other people on eBay, but I've also sold many of my own items that I've even had around the house or I've purchased to resell. eBay Motors is a little tricky, so this is why I made this video for you so that you can avoid any type of slips and falls through the way and make it so that it's a smooth and easy process for you and for your potential buyer when selling a vehicle on eBay. I'm going to take you to my computer screen and just walk you through the steps. But before you go, at the end of the video, I do have a special gift offer for you that's going to help build your own eBay business. So let's go to the computer and we'll get started. Okay, so now we're at the part where we're going to create our listing for eBay Motors. You will go through your normal platform where you're going to go to your eBay, My eBay, and create a listing. So then when you do that and you go to this where you do the search for your category, you'll enter in the vehicle that you're looking to sell, whether it is a motor vehicle or a motorcycle. Okay, so just for fun, let's enter Porsche. Why not, right? All right, so then from there, it's going to give you the different categories for you to consider based on the model of what you're selling. I'm just going to say Porsche 911. That'll be fun. Sorry about the glare on my glasses, guys, but I've got to be able to see. Okay, so once you do that, you come to this area. It does say that you have the eBay Motors app that's available for you now, if you like, where you can upload videos and photos, which would be cool. The biggest thing I have found when I'm reselling motors on eBay is that think about this. This is a high dollar ticket item. So your buyer wants to feel extremely comfortable before they buy this item without seeing or touching it. So you're going to need to provide them a lot more information than you will if you're just selling a pair of shoes or something on eBay. So when eBay Motors allows you to have a lot more pictures available, use it. And also I want to make sure that you suggest that you take the time whenever I've resold a vehicle, you want to take the time to have it thoroughly cleaned and detailed because pictures speak 1,000 words. And sometimes what you may think is, it's fine. But when you put it in the pictures and you look at it on your computer after and you're like, oh my gosh, that mat looked dirty, or I can't believe there were so many fingerprints on that. So it pays you in your profits when you sell these items to be able to take the time up front to prepare it properly. Another thing is I would recommend before you take these photos, make sure you do it on a beautiful sunny day and a really nice area. You don't want to take your car and put it in front of a big dumpster and try to take pictures. You want to give the buyer the best possible experience they can from the pictures and the information you give, because that's all they have. And they're about to spend, in most cases with most vehicles, thousands of dollars. So let's just get getting ourselves into the perspective of the buyer that's potentially looking to see if they can trust you to be able to purchase your item from eBay Motors. Okay, so put the glasses back on. Here we go. Sorry about the glare. All right, so we're going to go down further on here. I don't do the subtitles. I did my own test when I started with eBay, and I used to pay for all the subtitles and all the listing upgrades and gallery photos. I didn't see an increase in my sales when I used that. Sorry, eBay. I know that you use that. That is another form of revenue for your ad revenue, so to say. And some other sellers may have a different view on this. And that's the cool thing when you have your own eBay business, that you get to make the decisions that work best for you. So in my business, I've just decided that subtitles and upgrades like that, I just have not seen a return on it when I'm listing items. Okay, so we go down here. It gives you a little short description that you can put in here. So it would be like, I don't know, Porsche 911 red. I mean, because of course they got to be red, right? And let's just say it's a or we'll just say 2015 vehicle. All right, you would do more. You definitely always want to make sure that you use all of the characters in the line that the computer gives you. eBay, just like Google, is a search engine. And so you're talking to a computer first, and then the computer is what connects your listing with the potential buyer. So you really want to make sure you maximize what they call the keywords that indicate your item to the computer. For someone on the other side that's searching, I want a Porsche 911, that type of thing. So right here it asks you the vehicle, the year, body style, type, series. Make sure that you fill this up. Another side note, before I go on and make a listing or before I price a listing, I will go first and do the sold comps to be able to see what are other items like this already selling for actively. So I have a good idea ahead of time what my competition is. And the biggest thing is what the market typically is willing to pay for the item. So this is something I would recommend that you do. I have a video. I'll link it. I'll link a little up here, or I'll put it in the description below, that shows you about sold listings and how to find those sold comps. But let's go ahead and go further with this one. So here we go. Now, the thing with eBay Motors is I know when I'm doing my eBay reselling for my normal items, like shoes and purses and toys and electronics and that type of thing. I have, because eBay provides a certain amount of listing fees that you get every month so you don't get charged. Basically, currently at the time of this video, if you don't have an eBay store, it's 200 listing fees at no charge, or that goes towards your quota for that month. But with eBay Motors, that doesn't apply. You're going to get charged whether the vehicle sells or not when you're dealing with eBay Motors. So on a side note, because I am an eBay consignment seller, when I'm selling vehicles for my clients, I need to take that into consideration, because when I'm selling things for them just on the regular eBay platform, I don't charge if the item doesn't sell. But if I'm selling in eBay Motors, that's something that you may want to consider if you're selling for a consignment client, that you say that if this item doesn't sell, there's still going to be a fee for this. Are you sure that you're okay with this? And to pursue forward. So at least, yes, you may have lost your time in trying to resell the item if it doesn't sell, in your photos and that type of thing, but you haven't lost the cost that you had to spend for the advertising. So just a little side note there. All right, so there are 3 sets of pricing as you see here on the screen. The premium pricing, $95, 24 photos, which again, if it's a high dollar vehicle, a Porsche, you're asking this potential buyer to spend quite a bit of money for this item, then I would definitely spring for the premium listing, so that you can have 24 photos to show them. It does provide a gallery plus photo, which is a little bit bigger photo in the search results. This is for the auction listing format. The fixed price is different. So auction listing, of course, you go on, you set a minimal amount of what you're willing to accept for that vehicle. Please don't set your auctions for anything less than that. I always advise my students that when you're setting up your auction, basically think, what is the absolute, just like I said, what's the absolute minimum that I would be okay with walking away with if I only got one bid on this item? Because if you get one bid on this item and no one else bids on it, that item is sold at that very low price. So just protect yourself there. I tend to not do auctions as much. Pretty much rarely. I save auctions for items that are extremely rare, and I think that the market demand may be even higher than what the sold comps are saying because of how rare this item is. But if it's a normal vehicle like this, even though Porsche isn't normal, I mean it's a sports car and such, you can go on and see market value. A range of what these items are selling for, these vehicles, so you have an idea of what that is. So I personally wouldn't recommend an auction for this type of a vehicle. But it's something, you can, as you're selling in your own eBay business, of course, you can make what a decision that makes best for you. if it's best for you. Okay, so you can add a buy it now option on this when you're doing the premium, and you also have the bold title and subtitle, so it just makes it stand out a little bit more in the search results. It's all part of that. If you did the plus under this auction listing format, 18 photos, you get an auction for 7 days. You can set the reserve price, which basically says even if there's two ways to do the auctions. You can do it where this is just the price, minimal bid to be able to count for your item, or you can set it where the starting bids start lower, so it kind of entices interest in that item and hopefully get some bids going. But then you can set a reserve where that's okay. You can bid on this item, but I'm not going to sell this item. It's not going to be considered sold to eBay unless it meets this certain reserve on here. I don't really care for that format because I think it just makes the bidders kind of angry. They're like, dang it, especially if they hide the reserve where they don't know. They're like, I want this item. So all you're going to do is make them just kind of, I think you're just going to make them go off and look for another listing instead, unless they just really, really want this particular item and there's not a lot of other inventory out there available. So on this one, it does offer you the reserve price. And then the auto checks included. Basic, as you see here, $25, 12 photos, auction for up to 7 days, and the auto check as well. So if you switch this over to the listing format, you see that the pricing is just a little bit different. So on this one, and this is the one I typically use when I resell vehicles. I sold a motorcycle recently for one of my clients. So $95 premium, you get 24 photos, fantastic. Gallery Plus, up to 30 days duration, and the bold title and subtitle. And you can see the different differences here where it steps down in price. But do remember that these prices will get charged whether you sell this vehicle or you don't. So you want to make sure you're pricing the vehicle in a way that is enticing. So you only have 30 days for this. If it doesn't sell in 30 days, then you would have to pay another amount to be able to relist it again if you chose to do that. So on this one, you see the premium is 30 days duration under the fixed price listing format. The plus is 30 days duration, but the basic is only 7 days. So you're only going to get 12 photos in 7 days. But, if you're selling like a 20-year-old Toyota that runs great but has super high mileage and it's just sitting in the backyard otherwise, maybe that's something that you're willing to do. So this just gives you some options there. Okay, so we go in here, you would put your price in here for the average comps, the sold comps, and what you're willing to receive. This can tell you how long you want to run the listing. So we've got that. Allow offers. All right, so why is it doing duration? How long? See how long your listing will run. If your item doesn't sell, you can relist it. So 30 days. Because this one would be, if you're paying for the premium, you're going to get up to a 30-day duration. So I would definitely maximize as many days as you have possible for that amount that you're paying. So 30 days. You can put on here that you allow offers. Just know I like doing offers because I like to get the communication going with the potential buyer. I'm very comfortable with sales. I've been doing it for many years. Not only do I have my online businesses, but I've also run 2 dental practices. And I'm comfortable in that regards of negotiating prices and having garage sales and different things like that. And I find if I can open the communication up with a potential buyer, a lot of the times we can come to an agreeable price and then we're good to go. If you don't put offers up there, then it's kind of like fish swimming by a hook that has a bait on there. If it's not appealing to them or like, oh, well, it's too much, then they won't even engage in the conversation, and you may lose a potential buyer. I can't tell you how many times that I've sold a house that way where I was willing to negotiate and go back and forth where I could have lost it otherwise. So there's definitely value, and I would ask that you consider that for yourself. allow offers, schedule listing start time. So you can also put the time that this item is going to start on eBay. The only time that I find that that's beneficial is if you're doing an auction listing, because you want to it's not necessarily the start time of the listing, but wherever it starts, it's going to end that same time of the day. And you want, I learned this one the hard way when I first started reselling on eBay, is if you set up your auction listings, and let's say at that time I had my little newborn, and now she's driving, she's 16, but that time she's newborn, I had to work at night sometimes to get these listings up, and work around her schedule, her sleep schedule. And I would launch an auction like at 2 a.m. I didn't realize that that means the auction's going to end at 2 a.m. and half of my potential bidders are going to be asleep then, So you do, when you're doing an auction listing, you want to, I would definitely, unless you're actually posting that listing live at the time of day that most people are awake and would most likely be on the computer and on eBay looking at your listing, that you would actually schedule a start time that's feasible. Now, eBay, I believe, has things when people are trying to bid on an item where they can set like an auto bid. So they can say, I'm willing to go up this high. And so the computer will keep bidding for them to a certain level, but you still want to watch your start time if you're doing an auction. Okay, so here we go, adding photos. All right, adding photos for your vehicle to sell on eBay Motors. You're going to want to take a gazillion pictures. And I would recommend taking more than 24 pictures when you're out there and you have the vehicle all cleaned up and you have it in the nice area where there's like maybe pretty trees or a nice mountain in the background and great views. And, and you have it's angled. You can kind of look at auto dealers and their websites and how they position their vehicles to kind of get some ideas. You don't have to go crazy with it, but it can help you to sell your item. It can help you sell your item for more money and for faster. So I like to do that when I'm doing the listings, but you will want to take, a picture of the front of the car, of the top of the car, get up on a little ladder and take one looking down. You're going to want to take a picture up close of the grill. You're going to want to take a picture of the left side of the vehicle, the doors all the way down, the right side doors all the way down. You're going to want to take a picture of the trunk. You're going to take a picture from the trunk going all the way forward. You're going to want to sit. You're going to want to open the driver's door. Take a picture of the driver's door to the driver's seat. You're going to want to do the same for the passenger seat, the same for the back seat. You're going to want to sit in the front driver's seat and take a picture of the console and all the displays. You're going to want to sit maybe in the passenger front seat and turn around and take a picture of the back seat from that angle. You're going to want to take pictures up close of the VIN. You're also going to want to take pictures up close of the branding of the vehicle. So like a Porsche 911, I would actually take an up close picture. Another thing that buyers like to see is the tires. How good is the tread on the tires? So you'll take a picture of the round part. Of course, I know the tire's round, but the picture of it from the side, and then a picture of it showing the tread so they can see that as well. If there's any defects, if there's any, like the headliner has a pin mark on it or something like that, you're going to want to take a picture of that. The biggest thing I found on reselling on eBay and any of my eBay business or my online businesses is that you want to put yourself in the buyer's shoes. You don't want to have anything where they feel when they get that item that you kind of pulled one over on them. Do you know what I mean? So if you know there's a tear in the leather of the seat, or you know that there is a coffee stain that you can't get out on the fabric, take a picture of it. Trust me, you still sell items that way, but you also get happy customers when they're done because they know what they're going to expect and what they're going to receive when they get that vehicle or that item that you're reselling. Another thing is I would pop the hood, take a picture of the engine, and I would also pop the trunk and take a picture of the trunk as well. So I know that's a lot of pictures. Take a lot more because when you're already out there, you much rather have several of them so that when you're all done, you put the car away and you come inside and you load it on your computer or you through your mobile app, if you get the eBay Motors app, that you're not like, oh, dang it, I got to go back outside and take another picture. Lesson learned, done that myself. Okay, so a VIN number here, you do your condition year, make sure you fill out all of these specifics. Nowadays, the majority of people searching on eBay to find an item or even online in general are doing it through their mobile app. So and on their mobile phone. So they do it the item specifics is the primary search that eBay uses to connect you with your potential buyer. So keywords are important, but the item specifics has definitely raised in the search engine ranking, so to say, where it will raise your listing above others if you take the time to fill all those specifics out. Okay, so here's some more item specifics. You can go down here and click more recommended, take your time, do all that. You can go on, and if you have the original manual or the sales kind of display, maybe the window sticker if it was a new vehicle that you had, or the manual, or you can go in and put maybe the VIN number in the computer and then see what the item specifics are. If you're not quite sure about all the details when it gets into a lot of more of the nitty gritty, you can do that as well. If you're not sure, don't put it in there. You would much rather not state that something is something, so to say, like you don't know if it has, I don't know, rear heated seats. I mean, you probably would know that, but if you didn't know and that was like an item specific on there, don't guess. Just leave it out if you're not completely sure. Okay, so we go through the description here. I basically copy the title that I did at the beginning. I'll copy it right here in this description and just put a little more information here. This is really good for people who are searching for these listings on their desktop computer. Most of the time when someone does go to buy a vehicle, on eBay Motors, they're going to look first on their cell phones when they're out and about, but before they actually make the big purchase, they'll go to their computer, their desktop. So you want to make sure you take the time to fill that area out as well. Shipping. Now that's a big thing. And I think that's why a lot of resellers avoid eBay Motors, and they shouldn't. They're leaving so much money on the table. But they're like, well, what do I do if I ship the item? I can't ship a car. Well, actually you can. You can freight ship a car. You just have to take that into consideration. Or you can have local pickup. A lot of the ones that I have sold have actually, even though they were on eBay Motors all over the United States, most of the people will buy based on the item's location and willing to drive several cities over, or even a state or two over, to come pick up this vehicle if they feel like they're getting a good enough deal on it. So you can choose on here, buyer is responsible for pickup and shipping, or shipping details are included in the item description. I choose the buyer is responsible, and then once they purchase the item, they'll consult with me if they're like, hey, I live in California. How do you suggest for freight shipping or something like that? And then I'll go in. Because I want to sell this item, I may go in and do maybe get a quick quote for them and connect the dots with them and a freight company, because they may know even less about freight shipping and more not as comfortable with that than you should as the reseller. So don't let that stuff scare you. Freight shipping is just bigger boxes, so to say. There's more things involved, but there's so many companies out there that will walk you through the steps, and they do a fantastic job. So I just sold recently a dental Panorex machine, and this thing was a beast. It was huge. And the doctor was actually considering maybe he would just donate it. And I'm like, no, I think I can sell this. And we did really good with it. I had a doctor from California interested in it. I got him a freight quote. And then it ended up someone in our state in Florida coming from down south. And they actually flew up to pick up the item, and then they drove it back. So sometimes just being a little, helping them to kind of ease them or walk them through that process, even though buyer is responsible for vehicle pickup and shipping, it will behoove you to get the sale by just kind of helping walk them through that process. If you guys have any questions at this point, if that concerns you, or you decide that you want to list something on eBay Motors and you get stuck on this, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. You can sign up for my email list as well, paladinglobalmarket.com. And once you get on my website, it has like a little pop-up where you can put in your information. I'll have a link in the description below. I'm here to help. I'm happy to help you. Just let me know. All right, so the next thing is digital payment. You can do an escrow type thing. I always do I like to do it where I get a deposit and then I do the cashier's check. I will, so you can do a deposit amount. You can do either up to 2,000 or less. When I sell the items, I'm typically selling them for my consignment clients. Therefore, I want to make sure before I bother my client and get them all excited that I've sold their item for them, get them to meet with the buyer, me draw up a bill of sale, and I'll go over that for you in a minute as well, and us go meet at the arranged location. I want to make sure that the buyer has a little skin in the game. Now, they might be like, oh, well, I don't know, is this do you really have this vehicle? Am I going to lose my money? Well, because of my years on eBay and my 100% positive feedback score, I usually don't have an issue with them doing the deposit. If they really want this vehicle, I priced it right, it's a good deal for everyone around, they don't hesitate doing the deposit. So I usually typically do about $500 deposit for me. And of course, you're welcome to do whatever you feel comfortable with. And then we do a cashier's check at the site. Because think about too, now, if I'm freight shipping, I won't do cashier's check. They're going to need to make sure I get all the money ahead of time. They can do the escrow.com. But I need to, they're probably still, that's a big sum of money. Most vehicles are thousands of dollars. So most people are comfortable doing a deposit, but they want to still see the vehicle. Is it going to run well? Is it a lemon? Is there something wrong with it? Is this legit? Do you have this vehicle? Do you have clear title? So these are all things that I find eases the buyer's mind by us meeting somewhere and then giving the cashier's check. And I've never had an issue where once we met that they're like, nope, I don't want the vehicle, because I've taken great pictures, done the description, helped them along the way. They're motivated. And of course, you would want to meet in a safe location where there's plenty of people around and you're not the only person there, that type of thing. Go with your gut. You'll know if something feels sketchy. But thankfully, so far, I have not had any issues. But I bring my husband with me and, that type of thing. Okay, so the next thing is full payment due within 7 days. I do that 3 days. If you want to buy a vehicle off eBay Motors, I'm not financing your vehicle. It's going to take it off the market. I've got for me, like I said, I got my consignment client all excited that I sold their item. I'm having to do some of the work, some more work, getting the bill of sale ready, getting the driver's license for the buyer, that type of thing. So let me stop there. This is one more step. Now, this is all worth it though, because your profit margin is usually way higher when you're selling a vehicle on eBay Motors. So hang with me here. When you sell an item on eBay Motors, you have to make sure that you have clear title, or that your client has clear title first. So you want to make sure you ask that ahead of time and that they have the title. Also, you are going to need to draw up a bill of sale. Now, I like to use a program. It's a really inexpensive. It's called Form Swift. I'll link it in the description below. formswift.com. You go in there and just click on bill of sale, and you just input all the information, and there you go. You have a PDF, and you can print it out, and it's good to go. When I go to meet the buyer with my client, or if you're selling this vehicle for yourself, you have that bill of sale with you. Bring 2 copies of it, because you're not going to be bringing a copy machine when you're at the location. So I bring 2 identical copies. And then I also, I use an app in my phone called Cam Scan. It's really cool. So it does really quality, like scan right there. So I can take a picture of it right there. And it turns it into a PDF document. So I can email it to my client, I can email it to the buyer, I can email it to myself and save it. But I get pictures of the driver's license as well, just to cover, just to make sure everything is up and everything's good to go. And it just covers me as well. And then you list your vehicle. I know that was a lot, wasn't it? But I'm telling you, there's so much more profits available when you sell on eBay Motors. And sometimes as a reseller, the things that are the most profitable are the things that people are scared to do. Like I said, like that x-ray machine, or motorcycles or vehicles, or I've sold timeshares. There's so many things that you can do. Think out of the box, and don't be scared of the unknown. There's professionals out there. I'm happy to help you through this process. If you receive value out of this video, will you please give it a thumbs up? And also make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button. That just tells YouTube that I'm doing a good job and that you're enjoying this content, and it will share it with other people that can benefit as well. So I would really appreciate that. And if you're interested in my online course, Starting Your Own Successful eBay Business, I have a special coupon code for you in the description below and the link there. And then, like I said, you want to join the email list, the link is in there as well. I'd love to have you. I'm so glad you're here. Don't be scared. There's tons of profit out there on eBay Motors. Make sure you follow your steps. Don't do agreements off of the eBay platform once you've set up a listing. Those are some, just trust your gut on things. If it doesn't feel right, if the buyer seems sketchy, they don't have a good feedback score, kind of feel, I hope you received a lot of value out of this video. I love to take time to make these videos for you to help you to have an easier process reselling on eBay than I did when I first got started, when there wasn't even YouTube for people to show you how to resell on eBay. The biggest way that you can show me that you're enjoying these videos is to like this video. It tells YouTube that I'm doing a great job, and therefore will show my video to other viewers so I can help them as well. Also, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss future videos as I upload them constantly for you, so to help build your own eBay business. This is Michelle, Paladin Global Market. I have a special gift for you in the description below. I have a coupon code for you off of my online course. So if this is something you would like to do, where you would like to learn more about having your own eBay business, make sure you check it out. If you'd like to sign up for our email list, my link in the description below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Happy reselling.